Look, right, are you hearing me okay, guys? See what we got on. I'll get you up on my phone. So how is everyone? Oh, someone's just emailed me. Is that Angie? Um, Angie, I think you've emailed me, have you? Let's have a look. Let me just try and get his phone to open. Hi, everyone. So Angie sent me something. I'm just reading it. Yeah, Angie, I agree. Right. How is everyone? So we've had a bloody interesting day, haven't we, mates? Who have we got on? Let me just get I'll put you on here so I can see how many people we got on. Obviously, we're on the diet channel. I feel the diet channel has been left out. I feel it's like it's missed out. So we have to help the diet channel. So, come on, the diet channel is like our new baby. It's our new baby. We have to look after it. We got to nurture it, give it stuff. It needs a bit of Elvis loving. It needs a bit of carnival keto loving. Guys, I'm going to own up to something. I've been really good today. I had sausages for dinner. I had let me get the camera back. I need to keep my hands down. Woo. Now, hands, stay down. If I put that back there, Jane, did you send me an email? Right, let me just see if I can stop this camera from... Is it moving? Let's stop the camera from... Sorry, guys, I'm just getting the camera working. I'm going to turn off the hand gestures thing. Otherwise, it's going to keep doing it, isn't it? Hand gestures off. Off. There we are. I've turned the hand gestures bit off. Okay. So that should mean... Is it following me? No. Come on. Well, we want it to follow. Let's see if it'll follow me. No. So we're just messing about, guys. We're just messing about. So we want the zoom. Let's have a look. Let's get the setting on. Effects. Right, I am live. Effects. So, are you still hungry, are you? So, right, the daughter's getting some food. Now, it's not doing the follow me thing. I know what we'll do. I've got an idea. We will... It's all right, guys. What we'll do, we'll turn on the... So if we do the AI tracking, is it working? If I do this, it should... Yeah, it's following me. But what we want to do is move the positioning to a different position. Is that one going to work? No. Is that one going to work? No. Is that one going to work? No. Oh, it's too complicated. Don't worry. It doesn't matter. It was just an idea. So I'm hiding behind the screen. So what we want now is to effects view. Is it moving? It's not really moving. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't worry, guys. I'm just messing about. So we got... Do that. So then I can move it. Now, does it move with me? No, I think we'll just keep it like that. Then we'll turn off the hand gestures. Right, okay. Right. Sorry, guys, I was just messing around. So, my plan, I wanted to have a bit of an easy live. I'm going to quickly check your messages. I'm going to play a video and we're going to watch it together. So, Tony, thank you for your kind words. Let's have a look. So, just double check I've got no messages here. I have messaged everyone, I think. My phone's being very slow. Okay. Team, this progress today. Louis stood tall and proud and loud and activated, more love and light. And I think you even understand Elvis is proud. Yes, today I do. Today, we made a difference. Right. Do. Right. So who have we got on? We got Cherie and Jane and Angie and Tony. Doorbell rang, isn't the doorbell rang? So yeah, guys, the dog wants to get out. Where is he? Princess, go on. I actually had a piece of cake today, guys. Aurora's friend made a homemade cake, and it was the most delicious looking cake I've ever seen in my life. Now, today I've only eaten meat. And I did have a piece of cake. I've had a lot of meat, I've had eggs, and I've had a piece of cake. I plead innocent. I plead innocent of all sins. Let's have a look. Epifan has put the video on again. Oh yeah, Jane, I've read that message, and I have messaged, and I messaged Shauna, and she has assured me that it's whatever he did has been undone. Jane, is there any way of you checking to see if that's still there? Is there any way, Jane, is there any way of checking? If it's still there, Jane? Because my phone has decided to not allow me to look at my Face ID has all right. Let's have a look. Right. So Jane, I did ask Shauna. She said it's gone. Yes. All right. So Jane? Are you having a quick look now? Because it is important to me. Right. Let's start this little. I've come across some. I've come across some vintage archive. Now remember how it works with vintage archive. YouTube don't like you posting, uploading it. Now it usually. Oh, thank you, Jane. It usually doesn't have. archive footage usually isn't copyrighted. If it's very old, generally it's not copyrighted, so anyone can use it. But what YouTube don't like is people just uploading it. So what YouTube does allow is what I'm going to do now. So we play it, I'm reacting to it, so you see me, you see the video, and then we stop and start it and we talk about it and we react to it. We are allowed to do that. So in case anyone's watching now, this is the correct way to play an archive video that doesn't belong to you, that you've taken from someone else. You play it in, it's shrunken down. You have me in the camera, and then you review it and I'm reviewing it with Team Elvis. We are on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. Anyone that doesn't know our channel, we also have Defending Elvis Presley. So we have 2 channels. Defending Elvis Presley, we defend every day. And Elvis Presley Fan on Keto, which I'm very proud of, is our new baby. We read books, we do the movies, we do documentaries, we do song reactions. At the moment, we've been reading Anita's book. But actually, talking of books, we are still reading Billy Stanley's book. We are on chapter 13, I think. Let's have a look. Which I'm going to read a chapter of that tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will be reading a chapter of this. I don't like to read it at night because I'm too tired. So I just thought we could get together here, watch a bit of this documentary, just for a little while before I go to bed. The kids are ignoring me. They're all like with mum doing something. So, okay. So hopefully quite a few of us have joined us here. So let me just think. So we have, so I want to get you guys up, put the live up so we can see. Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. I want to just be, where are we? I just want to see our chat, basically. See how many of us are on. Hi, everyone. I think it has gone. Yes, good. Shauna made sure. I did message Jane as soon as I saw it. I messaged Shauna. She sorted it. She sorted it. Good. Shauna, well done. Well done. In fact, I'll let Shauna join us if she wants. Good. Shauna, well done. Well done. The bloody Face ID stopped working on my phone. It's really annoying. Has my face changed thing? The bloody Face ID stopped working on my phone. Really annoying. My face changed thing? Okay. Right. Okay. Right. So I've told Shauna in case she wants to join us. She didn't have to. But I have just, I know I said it on the dog walk, guys, but I had a good chat with Shauna. We got a good understanding. We sort of said sorry to each other, and all is good. All is good. We're back in good terms with Shauna. I support her channel. I recommend people subscribe to her. I recommend people watch her channel. I like Shauna. She's a lovely lady. That's it. So it's all good. Now with EP Fan Archive, to be honest with you, I didn't really know him. Right, come on then. Awesome. So with the EP Fan Archive, I didn't really know him. So I don't really class him as a friend at all. I don't think me and him really see eye to eye, but I have no problem with him at the moment. Let's hope that it stays that way. Okay, right. So let's see if we can play this video. Now I've never watched this. I've never watched it. I think It's old, like maybe 20 years old, maybe. I'm not sure. We are going to stop and start it. We're reacting to it. We're going to watch it together as Team Elvis. I always think it's better when we watch things together. I always think that. So can you hear it?
The doors open, and in comes Elvis. I don't think I have ever met anyone.
Can you hear it okay, guys?
I certainly hadn't at that point, and I haven't since, with that kind of charisma.
This is a take. Rolling. Quiet. Hey, action.
No, that's karate. Come on.
Oh, I was in Viva Las Vegas.
Repeat after me. Hey, my baby loves me.
And he would say things under his breath. I go,
I think the dog wants to come. Let's let the dog in. Right, let's go on in.
Elvis was a terrific actor. The movies weren't any good.
My little big shack.
I got paid for kissing Elvis. What could he kiss, too?
Scoot before you lose control.
The Colonel said, "Don't you be going for no Oscars, Sonny, because we ain't got no tuxedos."
I thought he was screwed. I thought that the people making the movies didn't care what the movies were as long as Elvis was in them.
Come on and sing, sing.
Okay, sorry guys.
Sing, sing. There ain't nothing like a song.
So guys, did you know that Nancy Sinatra actually follows us? Nancy Sinatra follows us on our Twitter channel. We have Twitter. She follows our Twitter, so she knows about us. So I'm a big fan of Nancy Sinatra. She always liked Elvis, but it was never meant to be, was it? She was, I think, married or engaged when they met. Is it Tommy Sands who she was engaged to? I know that she gave Elvis a silk shirt as a gift from Frank Sinatra, coming out of the army, and she does admit she always had a crush on him, fancied him. That obviously they had on-set movie kisses, but never any romance. But she always said he was like super sexy. And if she had been single, she would have loved to have kissed him properly. So have any of you watched this? Let's keep going.
By 1962, Elvis Presley was one of the brightest stars in Hollywood. Blue Hawaii had reached #2 at the box office, quickly becoming the highest-grossing film of Elvis's career thus far. But despite the fanfare, the dramatic recognition he yearned for was nowhere in sight.
I'm not a hoodlum.
So, we're going to stop and start. We have to, obviously, to keep YouTube happy. A lot of this will get copyrighted. Any music will get copyrighted, but it doesn't matter. I can sort that out tomorrow.
But I am a hustler.
When Elvis made King Creole 3 years earlier, his flair for drama was undeniable. And after 2 years in the Army, Elvis returned to Hollywood in 1960, more determined than ever to become a serious dramatic actor.
Look how cool Elvis looks.
But the enormous success of Blue Hawaii showed that moviegoers were less interested in Elvis's dramatic abilities than they were in other things. Place Presley in a colorful setting, give him a challenge to overcome, some hard-hitting action, a handful of catchy tunes, and plenty of smooching with the most gorgeous girls Hollywood had to offer, and you were sure to have a box office smash. For the most part, this formula worked brilliantly, and over the next 8 years, Elvis made 23 films, most of them big moneymakers. Averaging 3 movies a year, however, leaves little time for creative excellence, and Elvis eventually became disenchanted with the whole routine. But in
My heart beats when I look at him, says Linda. My heart beats when I look at him.
1962, things were still looking
Lorna, stunningly beautiful. I would have loved to have given Elvis a gift. Ha 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 ha! A hunger, burning love. He is everything.
Looking up, Presley's film career was at its peak, and some of his most memorable work was still to come.
I've got to follow that dream wherever that dream may lead.
May of 1962 marked the release of Presley's 9th motion picture, Follow That Dream. The film was shot entirely on location in sunny Florida and...
Hi Elizabeth, how are you? Elizabeth says he is amazingly beautiful, and then she quickly deletes it because she's embarrassed. It's okay, Elizabeth. Wish all men looked like him. Yeah, but that would spoil it, wouldn't it? Teresa, always forever, forever in my heart. He was amazingly beautiful, and every time I see my heart beats a little faster. Ladies, you need to calm down. Calm down. I would do anything for Elvis. Teresa, would you do anything? Teresa, would you do anything? I would do it. How does it go again? I'll do anything for you. Mean everything to me.
Received appropriately warm reviews.
Take care of the sheriff.
Anything.
Turn on the music.
Anything.
And make it loud. I like it loud.
Although Elvis strayed from his typical musical comedy character, he still managed to get the girl after a solid dose of two-fisted action.
Gloriously bucked as a lawman who does
The
everything.
two-fisted action carried over into his next film,
First thing we had to do was train him to be a boxer. Elvis was a light heavyweight by size. So we hired the famous Mushy Callahan.
There you are, guys. Look. Body pose. Body off. A naked Elvis.
To come and train him, and told Mushy that he had 6 weeks to work with Elvis before we would start to shoot.
Mushy Callahan wanted to train.
So Dan says, and I agree with this, for the true fans, I think we loved most of his movies. They were light-hearted fun and had some catchy tunes, and just hearing his voice made them even better. For me, my favourite Elvis memories are through the late 70s, early 80s, watching reruns of Elvis films, all of them. Sat at home with mum and dad, my brothers and sisters, my cat. Loved it. The best memories. Every single movie.
Trainers hired to train Elvis for the movie, boxing. I said to a lot of people, Elvis, if he had Elvis to train him for become a fighter, he could become a contender. Because of the karate situation. And Elvis enjoyed it. He thought it was great. I mean, he thought he was not Muhammad Ali at the time, but, he thought he was, Rocky Marciano. I mean, he really got into it.
Elvis's black belt.
I mean, it's funny with Joe Esposito, isn't it? Because I like the way Joe comes across. Whenever I watch Joe's interviews, I always think, oh, he's a nice guy. He's like a teddy bear, isn't he? He's like a big teddy bear. But then I get comments from you guys that things weren't straightforward with Joe. Some people told me that Joe would tell Colonel Tom Parker things. Like, is that true or not? We know about the racquetball problem. There was some kind of debt created. So it's complicated with Joe, isn't it?
Belt in karate came in handy during a break in the filming of Kid Galahad, much to the annoyance of tough guy co-star Charles Bronson.
One day after lunch, the Grips put down some bricks, and then they put a 2x12, piece of 2x12 on the bricks, and he turned around, did the ah-ya-ya, swung his hand, and went right through the 2x12. And in the background, we heard, huh, and it was Charlie, bless his heart, Charlie Bronson. Bunch of bull. Now, that's a mistake, because then the Grip said, oh yeah, Charlie, it is? That means you can do it, right? And Charlie said, of course. Elvis is saying, why don't we forget this and go about our business? And the Grip is saying, oh, no, Charlie knows what he's doing, don't you, Charlie? So Charlie goes over, doesn't do any he just takes his double up fist and he lets that thing have it. which of course does nothing to the board. I thought I heard things breaking, but it was not the board.
Wow. And I heard that Charles Bronson and Elvis didn't get on. That's what I heard. Is it true? Tony says, I can't get it anywhere. You know how I get my movies? There's an app called Daily Motion. Daily Motion. You just put it on Google. You don't even have to download it. You just go to your Google or your Safari on your phone, type in Daily Motion, and then in the search you can put any film you want, and it works. It works. And if you've got a smart TV, you can mirror it to your TV. So it's called Daily Motion. I'll put it on here for you. Daily Motion, guys. So, well done, Tony. Tony became a member of Shauna's channel. That's very kind to say thank you, Tony. That's a very nice thing you've done. Let's have a look. Joe went behind Elvis's back to Tom Parker. Yeah, I've read this many times, Karen. Yeah, but he's so likable, isn't he? Joe is very likable. God, you know, you wave money, you may wave those dollars in front of Joe's face. Very tempting. Let me just let the dog in a minute. I'll press play while I let the dog in.
In March of 1962, Elvis returned to Hawaii for location work on his next musical romance, appropriately titled Girls, Girls, Girls. Presley played a charter boat captain opposite beautiful Stella Stevens, who had a less than stellar experience.
He was not very much interested in acting as I was. He was interested in his own success and letting Colonel Parker make all the decisions for him, I guess.
Princess keeps wanting to go out. He's been out too many times.
I was actually miserable making that film, and that's the one film I've done that I have never seen in my life, nor will I ever see it. So I hesitate to talk about it in that it was such an unpleasant experience for me.
Girls, girls, girls.
Stella Stevens was one of the co-stars in the movie. And I heard some comments she's made about Elvis during making this movie. Now, she's the only person I've ever seen in my life that worked on an Elvis movie that's made bad comments about something. So apparently there's something wrong here. Elvis treated everybody nice. He was really great. He was polite to everybody, and that's the way he was. But yet he didn't care for her personality, and he just didn't care for her too much. And I think that upset, because Elvis was hitting on a lot of girls in the movie. Elvis loved women and enjoyed being around them, but he didn't care for her.
Guys.
Stella is such sour grapes on working with Elvis. And I think that's kind of sad. First of all, she didn't work with him that long. I mean, she was on the picture a very short period of time. I had a wonderful time. It was great fun. The crew, the cast, the talent. It was a thrill to work with, and Elvis was a doll. He was sweet, he was considerate, he was thoughtful, he was loyal to his friends. What more could you ask?
Yeah, so I agree with Dan. I think Joe did love Elvis. I just think it got a bit complicated. And money, come on, guys. People for money will be tempted. I've always thought there was a lot of jealousy. With the Memphis Mafia towards Elvis.
Couldn't stand being fooled again. It's me, and it is real, isn't it?
The stuff that you see photographed on the sailboat, that was some of the most pleasant times, because we got to visit and talk and rap and chat, and he was very concerned because his father had a girlfriend, whom he later married, which everybody knows. And Elvis was very upset about that. He was very upset about it. And it was really causing a rift between he and his dad. And I said, how can you expect him to live the rest of his life alone? Because he's involved with another woman doesn't have anything to do with your mother. Doesn't have anything to do with the regard he had for your mother. You love him, you think you're enough for him. You're not. You have your own life. Lighten up.
I will never forget.
I got a call on the next picture called Girls, Girls, Girls to come in with Jack Nitzsche on piano and Hal Blaine on drums, and they needed me to play some bass and sing return to sender with him. I mean, to mouth return to sender. In the picture, I played upright bass and sang along with him, and that went great.
See, the way he's dressed now, I had this poster on my wall. This poster.
He had a memory. You didn't have to show him a thing but once, maybe twice, you know, and he had it.
When Lance would go in and do the dance, you know, and we'd rehearse it and rehearse it and rehearse it with Lance, and Elvis would just be there watching, and then we'd go to, in one take, he could do all the choreography within one take.
Return to sender.
I actually sang this song to my dad when I was little, because I had a crush on a girl when I was 10 years old, and I sang this song to my dad.
Helped make the Girls, Girls, Girls soundtrack a smash, landing Elvis a spot in the top 5. For his next film, Presley traveled to Seattle to shoot on location at the World's Fair. Dropping Elvis into the middle of a jam-packed global event was no walk in the park.
If you see any of the pictures off camera, there's thousands of people around Elvis. Every place we went, between takes, we have to jump in these little golf carts, and we'd go drive through the crowd and try to get to a dressing room someplace private for him, stay away. But Elvis is the type guy, he had to stop and sign autographs. And all the guys had, for security reasons, we all wore these black jumpsuits, like, we all dressed.
Yeah, Karen, I always use Daily Motion.
The same, so he could see us in the crowd easy. We all wore sunglasses, like the Secret Service, you know. We're all looking around, we were looking for girls. We were looking.
Teresa, wish I was with Elvis, so beautiful. Elvis melt my heart every day, forever, always. Elvis is so breathtaking.
For anybody's gonna hurt us. So we did a lot. It looked good.
When we went on location in Seattle and it happened at the World's Fair, there were tens of thousands of people trying to get in the hotel. I mean, that was a real phenomenon. It was like the Beatles.
Here against the fabulous panorama of one of the most glamorous and exciting events of recent times is everything that has made Elvis Presley one of the greatest entertainment stars in the world. His songs, his punch, his romances. But now something new has been added. The warm touch of a great guy. For Elvis has a new sweetheart, little Vicky too.
Even to this day as First Lady, I think I'm oftentimes more well known as the little girl who made the movie with Elvis Presley. I remember there was one scene that I just had great difficulty with, and it got to the point where I was so nervous that I was stuttering, stumbling over my lines. And Norman Taurog, a very big, intimidating director, I think, just got really upset with me. And finally, I remember Elvis stepping in and saying, "That's it, that's a take. And I'm going to spend a little time with the little lady here." And he talked to me and he asked me, "Are you homesick?" And he was right. I mean, I was very homesick. My parents were not with me. And I started crying and telling him, pouring my heart out to him. And that made me so much more at ease. And from that point on, I don't think I had much difficulty with any of the scenes.
Oh, that's such a lovely story. So Dan says, as a teenager, when Elvis movies came on TV and they did often, I would never miss one, even late at night. I'm the same. I'm the same as Dan. I was obsessed. Now, I'll tell you a story. When I was around 10, so 1977, they did a special release of Elvis, a re-release of Elvis movies at the cinema. I think it was a trio. So they played 3 movies, and I wanted to go. I wanted to go, and my dad wouldn't let me go because I was only 10. He didn't want to come with me. So I was like, I'm going, I don't care what you say. So I had an argument with my dad. I had no money. So I went and sat outside the cinema crying. I was sat outside the cinema for about an hour crying, because I couldn't get into these Elvis movies. And then my dad came and got me and said, "You go home now. You home now." So I never got to see those movies at the cinema. True story, guys.
Another young actor was also making his first screen appearance.
I remember Kurt Russell making his debut, and he was a very excitable young man, maybe about 9, 10 years old. And I remember he was telling me, "Isn't this great? Isn't this exciting? And when I get out of school, I'm going to go into the movie business." And sure enough, that's what he's in.
Ironically, Russell would portray Elvis himself in a TV movie some 15 years down the pike.
Did this man really give you a quarter to kick him? Yes, he's some kind of nut.
My favorite...
Pat, Pat, I only cheated a little bit. I had sausages for dinner. I know I'm on keto and carnivore. I had sausages for dinner. Then tonight I had chili with sausages. And yes, my wife's friend made a homemade cake, and I had a small piece of cake just literally half an hour ago. So it's only a little bit of cheating, only a little cheat.
My favorite recollection of the Elvis film that we did for television was in the casting. We ended up
it was quite nice
casting
as well.
A guy named Kurt Russell, who up until that time had worked for Mr. Disney and The Flying Rubber Duck and other silly films and all. And the world fell on me and said, "You got Kurt Russell."
Carolyn, it was
the
a small
Disney
piece. A
you know
small
what?
piece.
Kurt did the best, most extraordinary job ever. He should have won an Emmy.
You gonna move? Why don't you move me?
Oh, that's funny. Linda's like, I'm having a biscuit then. Yeah, but this was a homemade cake. You won't see me eating normal cake, but homemade. I could show you it. So, shall I show you it? I wonder if it's still there. 1 second. 1 second. I wonder if it's still there. Whoa. God. I'm showing Team Elvis. I'm showing that I cheated with the cake. I'm just going to show it then. Look. See? It's alright. It's showing it. Okay? There's the cake. This is a homemade cake. Obviously, it was a lot bigger than that. It was a lot bigger than that. How can you say no? How can you say no to a bit of homemade cake? Come on, guys. Come on. It's homemade. It's all squidgy and tasty. And I did actually only have a very small piece. Okay, so there we are. I only had a small piece, and I loved every bit of it.
Elvis added to his resume with another display of song, romance, and virility, not to mention an abundance of bathing beauties. Margarita! Set against...
Oh, Carolyn, you're funny. You're funny. No, I had a very small piece. That I swear to you, it was about that big. As big as this circle thing. And yummy, let's have a look. Move that away, Linda says. Karen says, I can smell it through the phone. That's just funny. Pat, I haven't eaten yet. You're making me hungry. Don't eat cake. Don't do it. Linda, I don't seem to be able to eat all that stuff anymore. Yeah, you do start to turn against the sweet stuff. But come on, homemade cake that your wife's best friend has just made. And it didn't look like that. When she brought it here, it was that big and it was beautiful.
Against the exotic backdrop of Mexico, Fun in Acapulco featured the voluptuous Ursula Andress, who had recently made a splash in the James Bond classic.
No, I'm pretty good. I had one piece and that's it. I'll go to bed happy.
Dr. No. Self-conscious about his physique.
Everyone loves cake, Deborah. Everyone loves cake.
Elvis took one look at the statuesque Ursula and commented, "Her shoulders are broader than mine. I don't want to take my damn shirt off next to her."
Ursula Andress used to drive him nuts, too, when we did that picture, when she did the picture Fun in Acapulco. She used to drive him nuts. She was married to John Derrick at the time, and Elvis didn't date married women. He would not have anything to do with married women. Didn't want us guys to either. Said, man,
well done, Debbie. Well done, Debbie. Be proud.
And you don't do that.
Elvis's movies continued to be moneymakers, regardless of their varying quality. As producer Hal Wallace put it, a Presley picture is the only sure...
Well done, Jane. No chocolate. Now, yesterday I had a Cadbury's cream egg. Jane, yesterday I had a Cadbury's cream egg.
...thing in show business.
Tony's like, let us see the cake again. Let us see the cake again. Take a bite. You know... Oh, it's so funny. I ain't touching it. I'm not going near that cake. Just because I show you the cake and I bite it doesn't mean you're biting it.
The enormous success of the soundtrack albums only added to the pressure to keep on making movies as quickly as possible. Elvis was aware that some people wanted more.
Now, I had a Cadbury's cream egg yesterday for Valentine's Day.
Out of his films.
People would say to me all the time, why don't you do an artistic picture?
Elizabeth is like, please stop talking about cake.
Why don't you do this picture and that picture? Well, that's fine. I would like...
Yeah, it was 2 days in a row. No, tomorrow I won't do it.
I'd like to do something someday where I feel that I've really done a good job as an actor.
Yeah, at least... Yeah, Angie, at least I own up to it. At least I own up.
Type role, but I feel that it comes with time and a little living and a few years behind you. I think that, really. And I think that it will come eventually. That's my goal.
Elvis Presley often spoke very hopefully about the kind of roles he would like to do. But whether Elvis Presley could have turned it around by starring in a serious role, playing a lawyer, playing a private eye, I don't know that audiences would have bought it.
My wife bought it me.
Elvis understood the reasoning behind the formula, even as he felt imprisoned.
Come on, Cadbury's cream eggs, they're like that big. They're like, have you noticed, seriously guys, when I was a kid, Cadbury's cream eggs were like that big. Now they're like that big. Why have Cadbury's cream eggs shrunk? Why don't they make Cadbury's cream eggs as big as they used to be?
Buy it.
If I can entertain people with the things I'm doing, well, I'd be a fool to tamper with it. It's ridiculous to take it on your own and say, well, I'm going to change.
Yeah, but like Angie says, I love how funny we all are. But Angie, we have had such a serious day, haven't we? We've had such a serious day. Team Elvis will know this. But if we go through a serious period, I always come back with some fun, don't we? We always like, right, that all got too serious. Let's have some fun. We always do it.
I'm going to try to appeal to a different type of audience. Because you might not. And if you goof a few times, you don't get many more chances in this business. That's the sad part about it.
Even though it's the 1960s, the country still feels culturally like the 50s.
Dorothy! Get me my gun, Emma.
Mom! Dad!
What do you mean
So, he's not the only one having to do kind of fluffy pictures, because Hollywood was kind of feeling its way,
Jane.
Through what is going to be a cultural revolution.
The first shots of that revolution were fired in Dallas, Texas, just days before Fun in Acapulco hit the theaters. Following the assassination of President Kennedy, America found itself riding a wave of change. But for Elvis Presley, change did not come easily. By now, Elvis's influence on Hollywood extended beyond his own films. 1963's Bye Bye Birdie was a musical comedy about a sexy rock star.
Isn't this, this is Anne Margaret, yeah? Teresa, you're going to like this. Teresa, Anne Margaret's coming.
Whose female fans are devastated when he gets drafted.
Conrad Birdie.
Anne Margaret became a star by playing the lucky fan who gets to kiss the singer on The Ed Sullivan Show. Later that year, Anne Margaret was cast opposite the real thing, Elvis Presley, in a film that was...
So Elvin, is that a new person? Elvin, are you new or you've been on before? Elvin Massey. No, I think you've been on before, haven't you, Elvin? I'm sure you have. Yeah, we've got a few Canadians on, my friend. Let's have a look. Yes, come on, Anne Margaret for Teresa.
Destined to be
items of going in Hollywood at that time, and for them to do a motion picture together was really great. There was a lot of electricity, a lot of sparks going on, and they hit it off right off the bat. They became very, very close friends right from day one. Elvis and Anne would ride motorcycles together, or they would play silly games together, or they would sing, you know, goof around. And it really, Viva Las Vegas probably was one of the most fun movies Elvis ever made.
I think it's one of Elvis's better movies, and I think it had a lot to do with the chemistry between the two of them.
It is brilliant. Even my daughter loves that movie. My daughter loves that movie.
It comes across on screen.
He had the greatest sense of humor. He just was hilarious. And he was so smart. So smart. And he would say things under his breath. I go,
She loves me.
Would you like to make a bet?
Love this, guys.
I said the lady loves me.
When this boy falls, he really falls hard.
I did the fall off the diving board in Viva Las Vegas because, again, you're not going to let Elvis go off of that board with a guitar around the neck. If the guitar hits the water, it takes part of your face off, you know.
Viva Las Vegas also launched the career of a future star.
And I was doing Close Encounters of the Third Kind, as I told us before, and
I love Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I love that film. Absolutely love that film.
Steven Spielberg was directing it, and one day he's talking about his favorite movies. His favorite movie was Viva Las Vegas. Oh, well, I was in Viva Las Vegas. He said, you were not. I said, oh, yes, I was. It was my first movie. So Elvis.
So Teresa, yeah, I agree. Anne Margaret and Elvis loved each other. I really do. I think most of the people here think Anne Margaret and Elvis loved each other.
Elvis Presley's the first person I worked with in a movie. It really was a big influence on me because he's a person, I'm a person. If he can do it, I can do it. And he made you feel like that too. You know, he made you be an equal.
I couldn't believe I was on a stage at 18 in Culver City, I think at MGM, on a sound stage shooting a film next to Elvis Presley, and I was getting paid.
What are you doing with my face? That's a right good question, friend. Josh.
Elvin said, do you have any of the making of FTD movies, books, Louis? No, I don't, no. What is that? Explain it to me.
Morgan from Hidden Rock, North Carolina.
Then you're kinfolk.
Practically kissing cousins. Kissing cousins.
1964's Kissin' Cousins gave audiences two Elvises, including one with blonde hair, which was actually closer to his natural color.
Every scene had to be shot twice because, you know, he'd play the one character, Josh, and then he'd have to change hair and clothes, and we'd have to shoot it again. It's over my shoulder on him, and then it's over my shoulder on him in the other wardrobe. It was a tremendous amount of work.
Practically kissing cousins.
We were up in Big Bear, and he had to sing around a Jeep, and right up close to me, and we had to stop because it was raining a bit. So we stopped, and he said, Cynthia, and I said, yes. He said, you know, I don't know what I'm doing here. I said, what do you mean? He said, I should be driving a truck. And that gave me chills. It kind of told a lot about Elvis, that was his roots, that he was a country boy, simple, not simple-minded, but simple, and didn't put on airs. And in show business, if you've been in it long enough, you realize that's a rare quality.
By now, making movies had become routine, both on and off the screen. So Elvis found ways to amuse himself and his entourage, which now included a pet chimpanzee named Scatter.
We were shooting a movie at Goldwyn Studios in Hollywood. So we brought the chimp quite a few times to the set, but you couldn't keep him on the set because he was a little noisy.
Right.
So we had to take him over to the dressing room. You couldn't sit with him all day in the dressing room. We just left him in the dressing room one day, and the chimp got out.
I love you.
Got out through one of the windows and crawled up to the second floor where I think Sam Goldwyn's office was up there, and he got in the window. And he started tearing the place up, throwing papers around, having a good time. We got a phone call on the set. They said, you guys better go to the dressing room quick. So Alan Forrest went over there real quick, and Scatter had tore up the place, and they had looked like a couple of security guys holding this chimp like he was arrested.
1964 saw Elvis starring opposite Hollywood heavyweight Barbara Stanwyck in yet another lightweight
So this is one of my favorite films, this one.
offering.
Elvis, shillin' and shoutin' as he starts roustaboutin', strummin' and hummin' till the crowd start comin' to the girl shows and the side shows.
But he never gave nothing to me but hard knocks. All I ever knew was hard knocks. And I'm telling you, I said you better beware, 'cause I've had my share.
Hard knocks.
You girls are new here, aren't you? Hey! Hey, all right, knock it off, buddy.
Get off, buddy.
Come on, come on.
No, that's karate.
Come on.
Elvis, getting the chicks all worked up, but cutting loose from any dolly who can tie him down.
Red did the fights with him. When you see Elvis fighting a guy, most of the time it's Red, because Red and he had these things worked out. But for the most part, the guys that doubled him were specialists in that stunt. For example, when Leif Erikson runs Elvis off the road in Roustabout, that's Howard Curtis, doubled Elvis.
A lot of space beneath that sky.
We were doing a movie, Roustabout. And in this scene, at the beginning of the movie, Elvis is driving on a motorcycle and he's singing.
Shifting from town to town.
And during the recording session, Elvis said, I want the Jordanaires singing over here. His background singers in this part here in the song. And one of the producers said, well, where would these voices be coming from if you're driving down a highway on a motorcycle? Elvis said, the same place the guitar and the drums and all the other music is coming from. If he would have done more of that and been tougher, he would have got a lot more of the stuff would have been better for Elvis than what it was.
Roustabout, another fabulous movie. And, with Barbara Stanwyck was in it. So, it was, I mean, I was just thrilled to be there. But, so it's a carny, I'm sure you've seen it, where he's a carnival barker. And so we're up there dancing. We wear costumes that are made out of watermelons, who knows. And I never really fit into the chorus girl thing. I was always a little bit off and a little bit wrong. Thank God. Anyway, they'd be starting to roll this thing. They go, okay, we're action and we're rolling.
She let her hair down and she did.
Oh, I love this.
Who is that dumb broad on the left? Honey, get it together. Okay, we're action. Roll, action. Cut. Honey, oh God, that stupid bitch. And he was just so mean to me. And he was about to fire me, and Elvis said, excuse me, sir, but this, and he defended me.
She let her hair down and she did the
Elvis is a defender. Elvis the defender.
coochie real slow.
Elvis finished out 1964 with Girl Happy, opposite former Miss America Marianne Mobley and newcomer Chris Noel.
Doing your first movie with Elvis Presley was a great way to start out, because Elvis was wonderful to work with. He was a gentleman. He stood up when I entered the set. He would say, where's Marianne's chair? One of the boys said, damn, in front of me, and he said, please never cuss in front of a lady. I never saw him ever lose his temper, or ever.
See, this is Elvis. This is Elvis, not the warped version that we hear from so many other sources. This is the true Elvis, the polite gentleman who stepped in and rescued a damsel in distress. He wouldn't allow someone to be rude to someone he was working with. No way.
Create any sort of a scene. He just was always just perfect. And I think he was a wonderful actor. He truly was. Yes, we made very innocent films, but in the early 60s, the time was still innocent.
Watch that fever climb.
There is no doubt now, love is in the air.
Get up, the spring is everywhere.
It wasn't until the Vietnam War and the Beatles started recording their music that things really changed.
It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working.
I've already done a couple movies with Elvis, and these guys that are Elvis's, I don't know whether it was Joe or whoever it was, came up to me, where have you been, honey? Well, I've been to England and I've met the Beatles. You poor thing. That's what they said to me, because of course the Beatles were the enemy. And so what's wrong with that? I bet you're smoking that pot. Well, Yeah, I did smoke some pot.
But I didn't inhale.
I think everyone did in the 60s, didn't they?
Across the burning sands rides a dauntless stranger, meeting every challenge with flashing sword and bare-handed daring. Where does he come from? Who is he?
Well, I'm the Sheik of Araby.
Go east, young man.
I don't think I've ever worked on a project that has been as much fun as Harem Scarum, which was directed by Gene Nelson, the dancer Gene Nelson. And we used a set that had been done from one of these Lawrence of Arabia type movies in the past. And the set was already in existence. So they had to write a story to fit the set. Elvis was great to work with. There wasn't the big star ego quality that is sometimes prevalent today. I mean, if anybody could have had it, and probably should have had it, it was Elvis. And he had none of that. He was a true Southern gentleman when I worked with him.
When we did Harem Scarum, it was a thrill. We wrote it as we went along, or he wrote it as he went along. Now here's what we're going to do here. Billy, you're going to come in with it, and you're going to hit the guy on the head.
1 minute, our hero's singing his way out of the pokey, and the next, he's swinging cool as he invades the inner sanctums of love.
Even though movies such as Harem Scarum and Tickle Me continued to turn a profit, audiences noticed they were losing some of the spark of his earlier films.
Yes, it's Elvis as a singing, swinging cowboy, a rodeo-riding, bronco-busting champ. Oops!
He was such a tremendous image, and as Elvis Presley, that he was pigeonholed because no one ever thought of him as doing anything else. They were taking advantage of what he did that was accepted by the public. And these images, unfortunately, are created for you sometimes. That, you know, that song and dance kind of guy.
I think he understood that he was being exploited. I don't think he was, this was not a silly boy.
I love seeing all these old stars coming on this interview. It's brilliant. I love this. This is excellent. I've never watched this, guys.
He knew what was going on.
How can it be wrong?
He got tired of doing these movies with the songs, but a lot of people were depending upon him. He was supporting a lot of people.
Elvis's frustration continued to mount as he was handed silly role after silly role, that great dramatic part still nowhere in sight.
How awesome he made this deal for these cheap movies. And they do have a certain charm, but they are pretty formula. There are different locations, different faces, but it's pretty much the same kind of stuff.
You know, I always hear this different people when they talk about the 60s movies, and I don't think they get it. We just loved seeing Elvis. We just loved seeing Elvis looking happy, having fun, obviously young, tanned, and we just loved seeing him. So the movies didn't have to be the most dramatic or the best acting or the best storylines. It just had to have Elvis in it. Your eyes were on Elvis. And I tell you what, Elvis, he knew how to make a beach movie. No one could make a beach movie or a girl movie like Elvis. He really did it in a way that it was adorable. When I was a kid, many of us here watching these films as kids growing up in their 70s and 80s, some of you in the 60s, I loved them. I absolutely loved these movies. No matter how corny they were, I loved them. It's part of my childhood.
I don't know of a single song in our film that was memorable.
He was a little jaded at that point as far as the type of films that he wanted to do. I don't think he was happy. He just didn't have a goal. I didn't see a goal. I just saw like, I'm doing this again type of attitude. And I think he had done this type of picture too often. For the moment, it was good to do 6 movies a year and all that stuff, but then I don't think he or the Colonel ever thought about where that was going to lead, because it leads to, it's not good to do a bunch of bad movies in a row. For the moment, it's good, You know, it's like getting drunk. For the moment it's good, and then the next day it's not so good.
Colonel Parker kept telling him, Elvis, the public wants to see you in these type of motion pictures. If we go dramatic and the picture bombs, the old...
Hi, Martha. Yeah, I agree. Martha says, I'm so grateful for all those movies he made. I never miss them when they're on TV. Yeah, I'm the same, Martha. We all watched King Creole, not King Creole, Jailhouse Rock last week on the BBC.
Cliche, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Randy and me, we are lovers. Oh, Lordy, how we can love.
Two more Presley pictures appeared in 1966, Frankie and Johnny and Spin Out, in which Elvis did much of his own stunt driving.
He would race the cars. The stunt guy would only do the spin-outs, but Elvis would do the fast scenes and the drag-outs and always the burnouts. He was very consistent that he wanted to be a part of each one of those scenes, not where somebody had to double him and be in the spot where he was supposed to be used.
But Elvis was a daredevil. We know that. Elvis was a daredevil, even as a teenager, even as a man in his 20s.
When he did Spin Out, actually, the scene where he went and did the drive-through, and then he had to do a spin out. He wasn't supposed to do the spin out, even though we put the gravel on the ground and all that, and I showed him how to put the braking. Actually, you accelerate, you kick down the gear, I said, you pull the handbrake, spin the wheel, and you'll go into a 360. Elvis goes right down that line, hits the brake, spins the wheel, accelerates, does a beautiful 360 all the way around and takes off again.
Wow, yay, go Elvis, go Elvis.
Hey, you're all wet.
If you're not out of here in about 3 seconds, I'm going to put you over my knee.
But I'm only wearing it.
That's good, because you're going to feel it.
Shelley Fabre, I think, was probably his favorite star. I mean, I've seen them just start a scene sometime, and Elvis would be singing, and there'd be a P in the song. And when he'd say the P in the song, her hair would go. And they got laughing. And Mr. Norman Torog, Elvis's favorite director, by the way, just sent him home. He said, we'll shoot around you, go home.
Remember, Mike, I always get what I want.
I mean, Shelley Fabre, she's beautiful, isn't she? She's absolutely gorgeous. I'm pretty sure she was just married. I think she was just married, so nothing could have gone on.
Can do better than that.
Elvis Presley and I did a movie called Spin Out, which was basically your musical about race cars. How those two things came together, I don't know. I guess because of Elvis. Anyway, so Elvis was one of my favorite people that I ever got to meet in Hollywood, primarily because he was such a gentleman.
She's not going to get you, Mike. I am.
Elvis had a lot of respect for women, and it showed, and he showed that respect to all of the women that he worked with in our movie.
Isn't that lovely? Elvis had a lot of respect for women, and he always showed that respect. Love that.
Who cares about tomorrow? I need your love tonight.
I wasn't really impressed about working with Elvis. I was more excited to do the film because of Norman Torog and because of the part that he had written for me, which was really delightful. So, first day comes, and in comes Elvis. And it was just absolutely amazing. I don't think I have ever met anyone, I certainly hadn't at that point and I haven't since, with that kind of charisma. I mean, he turned the room into electricity.
I think that he was going through a time when he was questioning.
He turned the room into electricity. Guys, I'm really sorry, but I gotta go. It's late, so I'm gonna go and help put the kids to sleep. But we're gonna carry on with these kind of things. We're gonna be doing, these kind of documentary things quite regularly. I want it on Elvis Presley Fan on Keto. I want us to just do some light-hearted stuff here on the Keto channel. I think we need it. I think Team Elvis, we have a tough time on defending Elvis. I think we also need to have the fun. So we're going to be doing a lot of both. We're going to carry on doing all the defending stuff. We've had a very proud day. We're very proud of what we achieved today. All of us together, Team Elvis. It's a big, what happened today was a big deal, guys. It shows the YouTube Elvis community that we mean business. Do we agree with that, guys? It shows the defending we did today together as a team, as a movement. It shows how we did things today. We were determined. We didn't give up. We kept trying. It took about 7 live streams to achieve our goal. It took about 7 live streams to achieve our goal, didn't it, guys? Quite a lot of work. I would say it was draining because we really did have to, how can I say it? We really did have to push things and push things and push things before we got a result, didn't we? So, which is disappointing. It's disappointing that we had to push so hard, because I do like to think that we could have got a much better, a much quicker result 3 days ago. If people weren't so stubborn, so stuck in their ways, we would have got a result 3 days ago, and we would have avoided some of the more unfriendly live streams that we did today and last night and yesterday. Sorry. So I think if there had been a bit of compromise from these other people, I think they would have at least avoided 3 of the live streams. So unfortunately, it ended up being about 6 or 7. So if anyone's watching, you know, if Team Elvis, who are defending Elvis, that is our purpose. If we are unhappy about something and we have a good reason, please listen to us. We come from a good place. We come from a good heart. If we're upset about something that we think's harming Elvis's image and reputation and long-term his legacy, we've done some research. We probably are right. Now, we were always right. The things that we were unhappy with, we were right. We were right. It's mission accomplished, as Linda said. And together we achieved the impossible, didn't we? Together we achieved the impossible. I just hope that the next time we have a situation like that, I hope that the people aren't so stubborn. So stubborn. Because in the end, we had to come out with all guns firing, didn't we? I just wish people would just do the right thing. Do the right thing. Understand that all we were trying to do was defend Elvis. Defend Lisa. Defend Gladys. That's all we were trying to do. It's a shame that we've had a brilliant result. And we celebrate together. Team Elvis rock. But it is a shame that we had to push so hard, which leaves a bad taste in my mouth. But in the end, we did it for Elvis, didn't we? We did it for Elvis. Yes, Team Elvis rock. Be very proud, all of you, every one of you that helped win that. It was a battle, guys. It was a battle. It was quite a draining battle. Many hours have gone into what we achieved today, and we'll do it again. We will do it again. There'll be more battles ahead of us. Together we stand strong and we fight for the right to clear Elvis Presley's name, to defend Elvis and his bloodline. Elvis, Lisa Marie, Finley, Riley, Harper. They deserve it. And Elvis and Lisa cannot defend themselves. Gladys could not defend herself. So we did good. We did good. We did good. Team Elvis, we rock. Okay, guys, give yourselves a big cheer and stand proud. Stand proud. I'm going to bed. I'm knackered. I'm going to bed.